My name is Chief Carter. I'm the Training Division Chief for Salt Lake City Fire, and I want to welcome everybody here today. I'm going to turn the time over to Group Honor Guard. It's mixed between Salt Lake City, South Davis, and Sandy Honor Guard for the presentation of the colors.
Ready, face. Prepare to post colors. Post colors. Read color. Ready, face. Will the audience join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Please stand. Arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order. Arms. Ready, face. Forward, march.
Welcome this morning. Pleasure to be here today. A couple things have changed with COVID, I noticed. COVID made my Class A not fit as well, but anyway, so if that chair breaks, it's got to be COVID. But thanks for having me here today. We've only got one firefighter that's graduating today, but it's an honor to be here. We've been part of the academy, I guess it's number 8 that we've been involved in. Our firefighters that we've had graduate from the academy are wonderful. They're great. Can't wait to have Brady back. We can put him to work Wednesday. A couple things I wanted to talk about. You signed up to be a firefighter, but little did you know you're going to be a plumber, you're going to be a counselor, heating, air conditioning, sprinkling, lawn care specialist, you name it, you are going to be called to do. But one thing that is most important, no matter what you're called to do, is the customer service that you provide to your residents, your businesses, your visitors, and also to your fellow firefighters and other employees. There's a fire chief out of Arizona, Al Brusini. He wrote a book about customer service in the fire service, and I want to just read 8 of his to-dos to provide great service as a firefighter. Our essential mission and number 1 priority is to deliver the best possible customer service. Always be nice, treat everyone with respect, kindness, patience, and consideration. Always attempt to execute a standard of problem-solving outcome, which is quick, effective, skillful, safe, caring, and managed. Regard everyone as a customer. Consider how you and what you are doing looks to others. Everyone has a camera. Don't disqualify the customer with your qualifications. Basic organization behavior must become customer central. We must continually improve our customer service performance every day. And there's one that I've added, and our job is to make someone's worst day just a little bit better. As you go out to your stations, remember who we are here to serve. The people of Salt Lake City, the people of Sandy City, and also Davis County. It's an honor to be wearing a badge alongside of you. Remember, always take care of the customer. And sometimes that customer is yourself. Make sure you're taking care of your minds, your bodies, your families, and your other coworkers. Congratulations. I look forward to being part of more academies in the future, and welcome to the fire service.
I have to admit that I'm a little bit nervous. When I told Chief Stone that he would make a great chief. I did that for the main purpose that I wouldn't have to do these types of things. And little did I realize or remember that there's the process of delegation, and so I didn't take that into consideration. And in fact, so much not ever taking it into consideration that I'd ever have to do this is that I never even listened to the previous chiefs what they said, so I didn't even wasn't even prepared with what I really should talk about. So, but in all seriousness, on behalf of Chief Stone, Chief Stewart, and myself, and the members of South Davis Metro Fire Department and our fire board, we want to congratulate you for your accomplishment here today. I would also like to thank Chief Lee, Chief McMicken, Chief Fox, and Chief Milne, and Chief Carter for, and the entire training cadre for their dedication to the development of professional firefighters, and giving South Davis the opportunity to participate. The partnership that we have formed with Salt Lake City Fire Department under the transformational leadership of Chief Lee and his staff cannot be overstated. And it's amazing the accomplishments that can be obtained through partnerships and teamwork. So the message or what you've talked about is trust the process. And trusting the process doesn't only start here with the academy, but it started before you came to the academy, and it will continue through the rest of your career. We start the process and have to trust the process in the beginning by receiving applications. And we really don't even look at those applications in the beginning to look and see what it is. We're just looking to see that you meet the minimum qualifications, because there's an entire process and that we'll go back and look at applications later. The first part of our test where we really get to see you, where we're not just looking at a piece of paper, is our job simulation test. And let me just back up and say that every department goes through some type of process that they go through to hire and do this for a reason. So the very first thing we do is the job simulation test, and that's where we test your physical fitness. And most people come to that prepared. Most people that are looking to get into the fire service already know that they have to be physically fit to do it. But what we also learn during this process is a person's desire and their heart, and how hard and the effort they go through doing that. And we're able to pick up on that during that process. The second thing that we do is we do a video test, which is measuring people's ability to work as a team, as well as some knowledge base and some intellectual things like math and reading, those types of things. And we have to trust the third-party vendor that we use that what they're doing works, and we believe that it does. The next thing that we do is what we call the captain's interview. We take 4 to 5 of our better captains that we have on the department, the more trusted captains that we have on the department, and let them participate in the hiring process. And the reason that we do that is because the success or failure of our department as far as responding on calls is dependent on our captains. And so we believe that it's important for them to have a say in who they're going to be working with. And then the last part that we do is the chief's interview. And for the CEO or the executive of the department, it's super important for them to have their stamp on it. Some of you, if you were to really think about this, by the time you've hit your 7th year in the fire service, each of these departments has invested more money into you than the purchase of a brand new fire engine. So it's important that we get the right people. And finally, sending you through this Fire Service Academy where you learn the essentials and the skills to do the job, but also not only how to follow, but how to lead. By trusting the process and by trusting our captains, our vendors, our partnerships, we believe we've hired the future leaders of our department. In closing, I want to give you some words of advice that I wish that I had had when I started in the fire service. In a book written by Don Miguel Ruiz, The 4 Agreements, he talks about 4 agreements that help with your success in life. And the first one, and it's the most important, is be impeccable with your word. As you think about as you get sworn in tonight and the agreements that you've done with that, be impeccable with your word. How much you love yourself and how you feel about yourself are directly proportionate to the quality and integrity of your word. Number 2, don't take anything personally. Nothing other people do is because of you. It's because of themselves. Number 3, don't make assumptions. We all have a tendency to create false narratives and make everything about ourselves. This is exacerbated in the fire service with the way that we live and in the fire stations. However, the decisions that are made very rarely have to do with you. When a chief is making a decision, he's looking at the organization as a whole and what's in the best interest of the organization. And so this is even true when we have the unfortunate responsibility of terminating an employee. It's never personal. When a chief gets to that point, it's always about what's best for the organization. So don't make assumptions that it's about you. It's always about the betterment of the group. And then the final thing is always do your best. And notice that I didn't say give it 100% or give it 110%. I said do your best. So do your best when you're sick, of what you do when you're injured or sick. Do the best that you can when you're injured or sick. And the only person that it ever matters to as far as doing your best is you, because you know whether you're doing your best. It doesn't matter what other people think or what they say. Because remember what we said before, or what I said before, is that don't take things personal. What matters is you and knowing that you're doing your best. As we part here today, I would ask those of you that through chance meeting, if we're to meet again, and obviously this doesn't include our own recruits, that you would please, and if you recognize me, please come up and introduce yourself to me. And let me know your name and tell me that you're with Class 48 so that I can give you the proper respect that you deserve. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Class 48. It's a little bit better. Welcome to Salt Lake City Fire Department's Logistics Center. I'm Carl Lieb, Salt Lake City Fire Chief. I want to welcome everyone here this morning. It includes family, friends, really good turnout, firefighters, administrators from South Davis Metro and Sandy, thank you. Again, thank you for allowing us to train your recruits, something we take very seriously. And of course, recruit candidates. Big day for you. This is our second ceremony we've done in this location, and it seems appropriate, honestly. I mean, what's better as a firefighter than surrounding yourself with fire engines, fire trucks, fire equipment, bottled water?
a bright red floor, and the faint smell of smoke. We love this stuff. I know it's odd, but we do love it. It's our sense of style. I also think it's appropriate that we are having graduation here because this is where you started in July. If you remember, this is where we had orientation. And some of these people sitting behind you, they joined you for that. And you didn't know what to expect. You're probably very scared. And if you think back of what you were thinking then, you were probably full of anxiety, and really you were just hope. You're full of hope. You're just, geez, I hope I get through this. I hear it's awful. I just want to get through this. And now you sit here today, you're about to graduate, you're about to be sworn in, and you're all full of confidence, and you're full of pride. I know this because recruit school is tough. It is not easy. It's designed to put you to your limits. It's designed to put stress on you. When you get out there in the real world, you're not going to have an adjunct instructor with you. You're going to be on your own. You're going to have 3 other firefighters, but you are going to be a cohesive group, and you're going to be making decisions out there for the betterment of your communities. And that's why it's so tough. We need to know that you can do that. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about your future, as the other chiefs do. We always do. Whether you're listening or not is kind of up to you, but some of it is going to be important. So try and stay with me. Chief Powers, you should be listening to this as well, for the future. So thanks to the families and the people that supported you. Very important. We know that for 4 months, your loved ones were kind of out of it. They were out of tune. They weren't really focused on things going on at home because they were so keenly focused on what's going on here in recruit school. And they were stressed out. They might have been a little short, you know, a little bit out of focus for you. So forgive them for that. Because, you know, they are so laser in tune to what's happening here, even the vernacular that they're using, you know, the language that they're speaking. It's foreign to almost every other industry in the country. So if you've heard terms like B-pillar blowout, or buddy breathing, or stop, 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 you know, that you're not familiar with, that's just kind of their life. That's their life now. That's what they've been focused on for 4 months. But they will tell you to a person that it was all worth it. Because today they sit here as recruit candidates, but they're going to leave here as probationary firefighters. And that's really something. Recruit Class 48. While your formal academy training is concluded, know that your learning is not over. You've got to stay sharp, and you've always got to be prepared because you're the catch-all for public safety, right? If they know that the police can't handle it, and you know, public services can't handle it, utility company isn't going to handle it, you know what they're going to call? They're going to call the fire department. And you may or not have been trained on that particular challenge that you're facing, but you're going to be ready for it. And you're going to do what you can, right? You work for the respective departments who hired you, but you're going to serve the respective communities that you're going to. And don't ever take that for granted. The public has very simple expectations for each one of you, and I tell every recruit class this. Be professional. Make sure you remember you're there to help. Know what you're doing. And then just make things better. That's all people expect when they dial 911. Keep that in mind. They're having the worst day of their lives, right? And they need somebody to kind of help them regain control of what's happening. That's you. You're going to respond to thousands of calls over the course of your careers. You have to address each and every one of them as if it's your first. Know that you would not be here if we didn't have faith that you could do this and that you're competent. As fire chief, it's my job to ensure that you deliver the best possible service that you can. But I can't do it alone. Ultimately, that is going to be up to you. Anything less is going to be a failure of our mission. Even more importantly, it's our responsibility as chiefs to make sure that you go home at the end of every shift. And it's something it's a responsibility we obviously take very seriously. But this is also one that's beyond our control. What we can control as chiefs is the way you train, the way you go about your business, the way you learn, and the way you reach out. Remember when we talked about in orientation how much this job will give you, what a great career it is. But as much as it will give, it will take. It will take from you as much as you allow it to take. Don't let that happen. You have to have limitations. You have to establish those. And there's no shame in that. Watch each other's backs, not only when you're working at a fire, when you're assessing a patient, but in the station and when you're at work. If you or your coworker don't feel right and you know that something's up, say something. There are resources and there's support available to each one of you now. That wasn't the case 15, 20 years ago. But use them as needed. You are our greatest resource, as you heard from the chiefs earlier. We invest a lot of money in each and every one of you, and we want to keep you as career firefighters. So here you are. You're on your way. Be prepared for anything. We went through all that. You heard all that from all the chiefs. The job isn't going to be specific, but the skills you're bringing to it are. You're all bringing different things to the table. Your backgrounds, what you're good at, your strengths, and your weaknesses. But you have to work together to get through it. You're all going to be part of a much bigger family at the end of the day, and that's going to include your extended family, those people that sit behind you. You'll never be alone, and that means you're going to share all your successes, and collectively, you're going to talk about your failures as well. This is an environment that's very unique, and you should be proud. The fire service remains one of the most noble and respected public services in the country. Do your best to keep it that way. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief Lead, Chief Klein, Chief Powers. I just want to say a few words before we move on with the program. I too need to thank a lot of people, starting with Salt Lake City's administration. To put on these programs, to put on these classes, they're not easy. It requires a lot of people, a lot of support, and I just want to publicly thank our administration. Anything we need out here, the support we need is always given to us by our administration. And I also want to thank both Sandy and South Davis Metro Fire Departments. We have a great partnership with them. We love this program. We love to all train together, and I hope it always continues. So thank you to all that. I want to thank Salt Lake City staff, in particular, Salt Lake City training staff, starting with my two training captains, Captain Cadre and Captain Gary Menlove, who led this class. These classes, like I said, they are not easy to administer. As many hours as your loved ones spend in this class, long days, long study days on the weekend, it also takes that much effort on the administration side, organizing the schedule, organizing all the instructors, the drills. A lot of work and effort goes into it. So I want to thank Gary for leading this class, and also Captain Paul Kaditz, my other training captain. Thanks to my training coordinator, wherever he's at, Mark Peterson, and my special ops captain, Dallas Sharp, and our office facilitator, Gina Bell. So we have a great staff out here, and it takes all of us to continue to work together to make these classes happen. So thank you. Okay, Class 48, congratulations to you. You guys worked hard. Like we talked a few minutes ago in the Bay, you are ready. You may not feel ready. You have all the skills needed to do your job. The only thing you lack is experience and opportunity, which it'll come real soon. You start next week. Starting the stations next week. So congratulations. We're so proud of you. Thanks to all the families families and loved ones support these recruits in this class. We know it's not easy for you as well to support them through this non-existent, basically for 4 months, so thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Captain Menlove for training adjunct introductions. Thank you.
Morning. We're in class 48? Congratulations, you made it. Today's bittersweet. It's the end of our journey together. But it's also the end of our journey together. There are days that I felt like I was a soccer coach of kindergarten-aged children. But today, I'm proud to have been the training captain for class 48. The Cadre and I have truly enjoyed the last 15 weeks with you, and we hope that you've enjoyed it as well. You worked hard, you gained a lot of knowledge and skills. You failed from time to time, but you also succeeded when it mattered. So we appreciate your hard work, your dedication, your positive attitudes, and your sense of humor. You're what made this class a success. So for class 46, as a relatively new captain, and during their graduation, I joked with them that between crashing engines and injuries, they gave me a very quick education of the responsibilities of a captain. Turns out they were getting me ready for you. Our workers' comp phone number is speed dial number 1 in my office. I think some of you know the nurses on a first name basis when reporting your injuries. At one point in time, I considered changing your class number from 48 to 0-36A, which is the policy number for our injury reporting. But at the end of the day, there were some injuries, but everybody hurt. People were sore, aches and pains, but it never slowed you down. It never stopped you. I think when you were truly disappointed and what hurt the most was not being able to be involved in the next drill. So I appreciate your dedication to wanting to continue. Choosing this career, passing the entry exams, doing well on the interviews, passing the psych test, which is a big win for a few of you. All of those are commendable achievements. But graduating this recruit class is something to truly be proud of. Recruit class is full of long, grueling days of physical training and drill ground evolutions. It's coupled with longer, more grueling weekends of study, getting ready for the Monday morning tests. But after a difficult 15 weeks, the most important part is that you made it. Equally as important is that you made it together. We told you on day 1 that you'd have to rely on one another to be successful, and I think all of you have learned that and felt that. That doesn't end today. Today you start growing your pool of people that you rely on and that rely on you. But I want to remind you, never forget those that were there for you from the beginning. You may be going to different departments and different stations, but I encourage you to keep in touch. Reach out to one another, not necessarily when you need something, but to see if somebody else does. You will always be class 48, so continue to rely on each other. It's been a pleasure watching you grow from 21 strangers on orientation night to 21 close friends here on graduation day. Lastly, I'd like to thank the training cadre for the enthusiasm and dedication they brought to the training division. For the last 17 weeks, Captain Brandon Hardman from Sandy, Captain Tyler Bowman from South Davis Metro, Firefighter Mark Peterson with Salt Lake City, Firefighter Brody Berg with Salt Lake City, and Firefighter Cade Martin from Salt Lake City. It's been a great time working with you, getting to know you. I'd also like to thank the numerous outside instructors that were willing to come out and share their expertise and their knowledge with our newest firefighters. Chief Carter mentioned just how many people it takes to put together a recruit class of 15 weeks. It's not just the instructors that are here, but members from every department represented here that are willing to come out and spend their time to share their knowledge with you. But enough about the training staff. It's time to hear about our new firefighters. So we will have our training cadre come up and introduce our new firefighters. First we'll hear from Cade Martin, then we'll hear from Captain Brandon Hardman, followed by Mark Peterson, then Brody Berg, and then Tyler Bowman. Thank you. Good morning, class 48. Let's give another round of applause to Captain Menlove, yeah? All right, little side note for the audience. A lot of the stories are inside stories or had to be there to be funny. So just laugh anyways when you hear them laugh, or just laugh anyways for my own confidence, okay? So to start us off, Recruit Knighting, will you come up here? So I think when Recruit Knighting joined this class, he thought he was getting a credit for debate, or who could ask 100 questions or more a day. And had we given credit for that Knighting, you would have gotten exceptional on your evaluation for those categories. Luckily for us, Knighting is an extremely intelligent. He catches on to social cues, and I think it was a certain moment that me and you had where it was a very nice conversation. There was no yelling, a lot of sweet talking. And I think what happened after that is it clicked. And because he is intelligent, he got it. It only took him about 2 weeks, but after that, Knighting became basically unstoppable. Also, I want it to be known that Recruit Knighting here did the most barbell bench presses non-stop out of anyone in the class. Now you will meet Recruit Henderson, who I believe is the self-proclaimed strongest one in the class. However, it is Recruit Knighting. Henderson got 330 reps, 380. Well, Knighting crushed it with 383. So, Knighting, I'm extremely proud of you. I want that to be known. I think that at the very beginning, it was a struggle at first to figure the culture out, but you did fast, and you became the most basically logical person. And I'm extremely proud of you, and I hope one day to work with you. Recruit Gear. You'll figure it out, Gear. Looks like you did. Good job. So, I didn't know that firefighter, or soon-to-be firefighter Gear, was in the recruit class till about week 3. And how I met him was we were doing PT in the gym, and there was a rap song on, and I hear in the corner rapping in a voice what can only be explained like Shrek, rapping to this song, and I'm like, who is this? And I go back there, and sure enough, me and Gear met for the first time in that moment. You remember that moment? Yes, sir. And as you can imagine, it was a fantastic moment. Also, the first time I saw Gear smile was doing a squat, and I smile during squats too. I love them. So I knew that we would be friends after graduation. Once Gear went from whispering to using his adult voice, I knew that this kid had passion. And if his confidence was scaled from 1 to 10, each week it went up in accordance with those numbers. So by week 9, 10, and so on, he was confident, made good decisions, comfortable, and you could see that he really is motivated to do this job. So Gear was a self-employed contractor, correct? And kind of gave that up to come do this job. Now, he's not going to make as much money as he did, but to me, that's a firefighter we want. Is someone that does this for the right reasons, not financial gain. You're doing it because you love it, and I could see that and I could feel that. A little funny, adorable story about Gear, which I promised Captain Menlove I would share, is to show you how dedicated Gear is. Imagine where Knighting is standing and Captain Menlove standing over by this engine. Now,
Captain Menlove asked Gear, will you go stand by the trunk so that I can put the fire out? Now, Captain Menlove's 50 yards away. So Captain Menlove wanted to use Gear as a backboard to spray the trunk with a giant hose. And did you go do it? You did, until Captain Menlove stopped you. Gear, you're an extremely responsible person. I'm so proud of the man you've become. Seeing you grow, I felt like some of your growth was more, palpable in my opinion than a lot of people. So congratulations, sure proud of you. Recruit Willie. So I asked to talk about Willie, and that's because when Willie showed up to orientation, I asked Captain Menlove if he was subbing for one of his parents. And he said, no, that is one of our recruits. And I asked, when did we start accepting 16-and-a-half-year-olds in our academy? To which Captain Menlove replied, no, that is an adult man. To which I was utterly shocked. Willie was one of the most impressive recruits when it came to focus and drive. Now, I wrote this story down because it stood out to me about Willie. We have this hydrant evolution that we do where you connect the hydrant, put the hose on, send water to the engine. And there was a recruit that had a really fast time. And I asked the group, who can beat that time? We were going to do it again. Without hesitation, Recruit Willie said, I will do it. Not I'll try, not maybe. He said, I will do it. Now, Recruit Willie, did you beat that time?
Yes, sir.
You did. You beat it by less than a second, but he did it nonetheless. Now, to me, that is a driven, motivated person, confident, and I like that. Obviously, the utter shock I had when you beat his time was the same when I found out you were an adult. One of the things also that impressed me about Willie is he comes from a family of firefighters. His father's a captain, his brother's a captain, and they are both very respected individuals in the fire service. Recruit Willie did not use that to his advantage once. He actually became uncomfortable when we talked about it or when I brought it up. And that's because he wants to make his own path. And he did make his own path. He doesn't want to ride on the coattails of anyone. And that's exactly what you've been doing, Willie. Now, Willie, I know you asked me a bunch of times, are you doing your best? You did your best, buddy. I'm sure proud of you. Congratulations. All right, two more. Peterson. So if I was to give you a life resume of Peterson after knowing him for 10 to 11 weeks, it would sound something like this. He loves Winnie the Pooh. He's an above average throat clearer. The class will understand that. Aggressive yet elegant water drinker. Wears the same glasses that my grandmother wore. Also the grandpa from Up. He was very punctual with making my safety square when I felt unsafe around class 48. Pound for pound, the strongest recruit we had, without a doubt. And competent recruit turning competent firefighter. One thing that really impressed me about Peterson is when things went well, or an evolution or a task that happened, Peterson was usually involved. And when he was involved in something or a task that did not go well, he took ownership basically immediately. And furthermore, he didn't make the same mistakes twice. It was always learning. I made this mistake, fixed it, done, didn't happen again. He understood the culture. You know how to play the game, and that's going to help you throughout your career, Peterson. I can't think of one major or minor issue we had with Peterson. Minus some tests, right? A couple tests, okay. Other than that, Peterson was rock solid, very reliable, and most of the recruits I will never see again, especially recruit Vance, but Peterson I will see again because he's coming to my station. So congratulations, Firefighter Peterson. Mountaintop. For those of you unaware, Firefighter Bloomquist prefers to be called Mountaintop Blooming Branch. If you're curious why, just ask him. He loves to tell the story, and he will tell you the story. But like his name indicates, he definitely bloomed in this academy, didn't you? Let it be known that he told us his previous job was part of a rebellion. And in this rebellion, he was let go, fired, I don't know how they say it, for not working hard. And when he told us this, I don't know if he watched Star Wars the night before, but nonetheless, you did not bring that same lack of hard work from your rebellion to your academy here. I would say that Bloomquist was one of the hardest working recruits. In every aspect of it too. Whenever something needed to get done, he was doing it. Whenever there was cleanup, he was doing it. Whenever there was the hardest job to get done, Bloomquist was there. He was a quiet giant that I like to call him. He made very good decisions in his crew. And I remember watching him a couple times when an evolution was happening, and he would say or fix something in that evolution with his crew. He didn't do it to make him feel incompetent or small. He did it in such a way that was respectful and actually brought his crew together. And I saw that multiple times with Bloomquist. He's an absolute rock star. I was sure proud of that. I don't know, I assume he was a comfort to your class because he was a comfort to the cadre. We could rely on you. We knew wherever we put you that you would get it done and you would get it done right. And if you didn't, you'd learn from it and not make the same mistake again, just like Peterson. But what started as a fragile twig has turned into a strong branch. And one might say a bloomed branch. Congratulations, Firefighter Bloomquist. Captain Hartman, you're up.
Morning, Class 48. Morning, sir. You gentlemen here can go ahead and take a seat. Friends and guests, you should be very proud of these recruits. In fact, I want to hear just how proud you are. Let's see if we can make some noise. Very good. I noticed Valdez's family is more shocked and surprised, just like the cadre is, that he is actually here. So, us too. So, Valdez, why don't you come up first? Well, I don't know where your picture went. You're going to be Bloomquist for a while. It was clear to us that Valdez came to us not knowing how to dress himself. In the very first week of Recruit Academy, they have to learn how to get their firefighter turnout gear on. And when we saw Valdez over by the engine struggling with his coat, we had to run over with cameras in hand as he had his turnout coat on upside down. I didn't even know that was possible. Upside down. So Valdez takes his coat off and he has this weird way of putting his coat on. He puts it on the ground and kind of stands it up and then tries to flip it over his head and put his arms in. So he continues to put it on upside down for a second time while employing that method of coat wearing. There may be pictures and video of this, so I'm sure you'll get to see it. Yes. Another time, Valdez really impressed the instructors by not just pulling one hose line off an engine, but grabbing the nozzle of one hose line along with the loop of another hose line and pulling two hose lines simultaneously off the engine, which is not supposed to happen. Valdez dropped the loop, had the nozzle, the engineer charges the line, he's ready to go in and fight fire. The problem is, the line that Valdez has with the nozzle is not the line that has any water in it. As he stood there with a very confused look on his face, another crew picked up the charged hose line and went in and put the fire out. Because Valdez messed up early on, he became very good at taking a joke. He just embraced it. He's definitely a good sport. He's also a hard worker, and when we told him that we wanted to see him push himself harder, he really took that to heart, and he picked up the pace and definitely performed even better than what we expected. On one drill, Valdez performed extremely well when he was assigned search group. I told him I wanted a complete search of the structure and I wanted it quick. He said, "Yes, sir," and went to work. He rescued 2 victims, cleared the structure, found everybody, got them out, and definitely made a difference in that drill. It's this work ethic and his ability to embrace his mistakes that will make Valdez a great asset to Salt Lake City Fire. Congratulations. Quan, you're up. The pride of Sandy. We always told him he was the top Sandy recruit in this academy because he's the only Sandy recruit. One thing we know about Quan is he likes to run. When he's confused and doesn't know what to do, he just runs. Sometimes in circles until he decides what he wants to do. The other recruits agreed that he looks like a what? A drunk giraffe when he runs, which is very true. We'll have him do some sprints out here after this is over with for everybody. Sometimes he ran, never figured out what to do. After a drill one day where Quan was assigned to fire attack, this is the team that goes in and they put the fire out. Quan came out and we were critiquing it and he raised his hand and had a question and he said, "Sir, what am I supposed to be doing in there?" "Quan, you have a hose line and there's a fire. You're supposed to put the fire out." And he goes, "Ah, okay." Good. Another time, Quan thought he was in charge of recruit class. When Captain Menlove told everybody to go to lunch, Quan got on the radio and responded, "Negative, sir. We would like to run another drill before lunch." To which Captain Menlove replied, "Negative, Quan. It's time for lunch." Quan then realized he was a recruit and not in charge and went to lunch. One thing that we all loved about Quan is that he went through the entire recruit class with a smile on his face because he was so excited to be here every day. He has a fun, infectious personality and is eager to learn. During Hell Week, Quan and his partner were assigned fire attack. This time he knew what that meant and what to do. He made a quick attack, was very quick to put the fire out. After he walked out, he passed me with a big, exhausted smile and said, "This is so much fun, sir." Quan will be an excellent addition to Sandy Fire Department. Class 48, I got a question for you. If I asked this next recruit to jog up here, who would I be talking about? Ostendorf. Jog on up here. Oh my gosh, my pictures are gone. There he is. Ostendorf, come on up. Jog. Now, as Ostendorf half jogged up here, you probably thought it looked familiar. If you were thinking bulldog with hip dysplasia, You were correct. That's how Ossendorf jogs. Usually it's in workout pants that are too short, entirely too tight, and probably from his wife's athletics subscription. During animal movement workouts, where we have the recruits mimic animal movements like a bear crawl, we've learned that if recruit Ossendorf was a real animal, he wouldn't survive in the wild because he cannot do any animal movements. Ossendorf also had a way of contorting his face to make every workout and drill look extremely painful. But he always worked his way through it and pushed himself. During survival week, one of the toughest weeks in recruit camp, recruits need to navigate an obstacle course in zero vision. When Ossendorf encountered a small confined space tube that all recruits had to crawl through, he was the only recruit to yell at the top of his lungs and start punching himself in the helmet. It worked because he was able to squeeze himself through that confined space and that course. Whenever you asked Ossendorf to do something, he aggressively and loudly replied, "Yes, sir!" and then pushed himself and wouldn't give up. Recruit Ossendorf will be a great asset to Salt Lake City Fire. This next recruit, you may hear his joints and everything popping and cracking when he walks up here. McCusker, come on up. Joints cracking and popping. Okay. Went better in my head. You can't see it right now, but McCusker was only able to walk up here because he's likely wearing knee braces and being held together with ace bandages and stuff. All those braces must have helped because we learned that he has the second strongest biceps in class. He was well known by the Cadre for two things. One, creative verbiage when he was running a fire scene. When he was in command, he would assign groups and divisions that don't even exist in the fire service. Like Engine 5, you will be Fire Attack 1 of the sub-level group of Fire Attack. Okay? 2 was when he didn't know an instructor had followed the recruits on an up and over. An up and over is where the recruits need to go up one stairwell of the big training tower out there, run across the top floor, and down the other stairwell. As they're running, this instructor followed them up and heard McCusker say, "I don't know how they expect us to do all this physical fitness and still perform during the day." That earned the class more up and overs. And he never complained again. However, when recruit Holst earned the class up and overs, his response was, "Thanks, Holst." In reality, we always liked how McCusker was the first to own up to and admit to his mistakes and work on bettering himself. On the drill ground, he was a consistent performer. On one drill, during a car fire, the instructors were commenting on how well the crew was doing, but we couldn't tell who had the nozzle. After the drill was over, we noticed it was McCusker. He and his partner had done an exceptional job at attacking the car fire. He's going to make a great addition to South Davis Metro.
Good morning. Good morning, Class 48. Guess what? It's the last time you have to call me sir. It's been a real honor to be part of this cadre and part of this class. In my 21 years, it's a highlight. It's awesome. Recruit Shields, will you please come up? Recruit Shields showed up on day one with a big belt buckle and a modern day mullet. If that didn't make him easy enough to identify him, we could always find the guy with his own last name tattooed on his arm. Shields showed great maturity for his age. He was a natural leader on the fire ground and in the classroom as well. It wasn't uncommon when Shields was the captain of the crew, whatever assignment was given, it would be completed quickly and efficiently. He will be a great asset to this fire department. Congratulations and welcome to Salt Lake City Fire Department. Recruit Francis. Recruit Francis is much like the car he drives. It looks tough, but really, it's just a four-cylinder. However, like a four-cylinder, he is peppy and reliable. Francis had the least amount of deficiency points on the drill ground. Deficiency points are assigned for a recruit making mistakes like not chalking the tires on the engine, not closing all the doors on the engine, straddling hose, etc. Francis also had the longest time for the dead hang, impressive time of 3 minutes and 33 seconds. That's where the recruit hangs from a bar. Recruit Francis is going to be a fantastic firefighter, and I'm so proud to have him here. Welcome to Salt Lake City Fire Department. Recruit Benson. I first met Recruit Benson after he had burned his hand at the flashover trailer. I assisted him with some first aid. Although he was in pain, he never complained and was very appreciative of my assistance. There was one scenario where a car fire had extended into a structure. Recruit Benson was the incident commander. He remained calm and collected. As the crews arrived, Benson made good decisions and assignments. As all recruits know, the incident commander can dictate how calm or how chaotic the scene is. Benson is calm and efficient. Congratulations. Welcome to Salt Lake City Fire. Recruit Hatch. Recruit Hatch comes to us from Rigby, Idaho. He is much like the potatoes he grew up around. He is quiet and hard to read and always has the same expression on his face. But once he started to speak up and come out of his shell, we, the cadre, realized that Hatch had some real good insights to the drills and was really grasping what we were trying to teach him. I also now realize that Hatch's potato face was actually the ultimate poker face. And so to you, Hatch, I say, well played. Congratulations and welcome to the Salt Lake City Fire Department. Dr. Burke.
Good morning, Class 48. Good morning, sir. Oh, you let me down. About, what, 2/3 of the way through class, they wrote a sign on the door that goes into their recruit room that said first names only. And I think I was probably the first instructor to enter, so I'm giving you permission now. Good morning, Class 48. Good morning, Thank you. All right, Recruit Holst, come on up. So Recruit Holst came all the way from Michigan. Not this morning, but he's from Michigan. He's also one of our few paramedics in class, and he spent some time honing his skills in some pretty interesting places, like Windover. This hasn't stopped him, though, from being very proud of his status. As one recruit put it, he won't ever shut up about being a glorious medic. Now, Jalen is a medic myself. I know that recruit is just jealous. So Jalen is high intensity, but apparently Holst's energy does not come from his youthfulness, but rather an endless supply of energy drinks. He's also known for leaving those and other drinks half empty all over the recruit room. And rumor has it he may have also moved his entire apartment in there. I'm going to talk to your mom after this. We got to work on that. But he is a hard worker. Jalen excelled at PT. I never saw him slack or cut corners when it came to a workout. He also worked very hard on the drill ground and seemed to easily pick up on all of the skills. He's also smart. He performed well in the classroom. And who knew that he was the next Bobby Fischer playing lots of chess whenever he had what little free time he had during recruit school. Jalen's experience was not without some tragedy, however. He tragically lost his young niece about halfway through camp. And like other adversity that he faced, he hit it head on and he returned to camp determined to be better. South Davis Metro is going to be a great place for you to hone those paramedic skills, much better than Wendover. And they're lucky to have you. Congratulations, firefighters. So, I need to make sure he's here. I don't know if we've given him enough time. Recruit Henderson, are you here? Okay, Recruit Henderson is here. So Lincoln made a splashing impression when he arrived 1 hour late to orientation night. Now, to be fair, he only arrived 1 minute late. But the gates lock at 6 o'clock, so 6:01 was not getting in. He had to turn around, I guess. I can only imagine that he spent a few minutes contemplating what to do, talking to his wife, and he decided to go bang on all the windows and doors and try to get in, but nobody was there. We were all over here. So then he did what he thought would be the next best thing, and he called Gina, and he called Captain Minlove, but to no avail. So he was back on the freeway, heading south to Spanish Fork, when Captain Minlove called and told him to come back and return, and we would let him in. As a cadre, we had to further question his desire to be a Salt Lake City recruit when he failed his first test. Now you understand, you can only fail 2 tests and then you're gone, so, well, maybe a third, but that put him in the hole right off the bat. But as you can see, this story has a happy ending. Lincoln turned it around. The youthful blonde Tom Cruise you see here tucked away the ego and stepped up to the plate. His test scores rose, his attitude became that of a leader, and he became part of this team. We noticed as a cadre, the class noticed, and with a little humble pie, Lincoln became the person he thought he was when he first showed up here that night. Now, I personally know that Lincoln had a tough choice to make on whether to be here or not, whether to turn that car around or just continue back home and live the comfortable life he was leading. But Lincoln, you made the right choice. You're going to grow in ways you never thought you could, being a member of the Salt Lake City Fire Department, and you're going to be a shining example to the citizens of Salt Lake and also to your young family. Congratulations. Recruit Smedley. So, I have a special place in my heart for Brock. In many ways, it was like having my own teenagers at work with me. It really was. He showed up every day like a kid in a candy store. And he was as green as they get. But he loved learning, and it showed, and he grew throughout camp. Now, at first, we were not sure that Smedley would survive himself. Having injured his shoulder swan diving out of the McNeil prop right over here during a Denver drill and winding up at the doctor's office. It hasn't been mentioned, but this class of 48 was also known as the class of glass, and he truly belonged in this class. Then, and I wish he were here, we were not sure that he was going to survive Captain Dennis Sharp. When Smedley drove engine 4 into the gate out front, leaving a memory of his presence on both. It's fitting that it's parked this way because you could see the damage on the other side. But he has managed to survive, and he has made it to this day. And I am confident that Brock will quickly make a positive impact on his crew, on the department, and our city. as long as we don't let him drive an engine anytime soon. And my advice to you is to keep that enthusiasm and that curiosity that you have today and carry that with you throughout your career. Congratulations on this accomplishment and welcome to the Salt Lake City family. So this next recruit and I have something in common. We both started class 47, but finished in class 48. Admin understands, you guys understand. So, recruit McGee, come on up. So this wasn't Brandon's first go at recruit school. He was also a proud member of class 47. Just couldn't get enough. Yes, that picture's so fitting. Due to an unexpected military deployment with the Air Force, he had to leave early in class 47 and pick up again at the beginning of class 48. So, one might think that that would give him an advantage. But if you ask McGee, it didn't. Affectionately known as Gobbles, Brandon was fun to watch because you never really knew what he was thinking. Yeah. Brandon loves a good conspiracy. You might hear him say that birds are not real, they're just spying devices. Other things we learned from McGee is that he's really hard to get out of a foam pit when in full PPE. He is like a puppy with new paws. Yeah? His mind knows what to do, but his body has a hard time doing it. And you'll have to ask him about this, but he loves going to NASCAR, but not for the racing. And as instructor Martin once put it, McGee is the human form of COVID on the drill ground. He wreaks havoc everywhere. What I will remember most, though, about McGee is no matter how defeated he looked, he always had more to give. And underneath this laid-back, goofy personality is a determined hard worker. As I mentioned, he did not think that he had an advantage from his time in class 47. But I would disagree. I repeatedly saw Brandon step up and mentor other recruits. I saw him take time to teach skills and prepare others for what was expected in this new and challenging environment. Brandon has and continues to honorably serve our country in the United States Air Force, and now brings that same spirit of service to the Salt Lake City Fire Department. Welcome, Firefighter McGee, to your next chapter of service and civic duty in the Salt Lake City family.
Good morning, class 48. All right. Vance. What can I do better? What could we have done better? Is there anything you recommend so that we can be better? Hey, Cap. What would you do differently if you were in my shoes? Captain Bowman, what advice can you give me to be better? Because I know you've seen better. Captain Menlo, have you ever seen someone do this faster? Captain Hartman, do you think I could beat Instructor Martin at this? That is pretty much the only things Vance said in 15 weeks. I'll speak for myself. I'm sure the Cadre will agree with this, but I still hear them in my sleep. And we have not been on the drill ground for a few weeks. All right. Vance is from Southern California, where he initially started as a lifeguard at 16 years old. At the age of 16 years old, he had performed CPR on a cardiac arrest patient prior to the fire department's arrival. The following year, this patient was able to come back and shake Vance's hand along with all the individuals involved in attempting to resuscitate his life. I recommend hearing this story from Vance, as it is a really cool story. This is where his interest in the fire service began. A couple things interesting about Vance. He is married to a wife named Abby, who is here today, and they are both BYU graduates. Now, just due to time restraint, I'm not going to go into any of his side projects, because we would be here for a long time, okay? Vance has no previous fire experience prior to recruit camp. He is a natural. He almost required no coaching, other than asking only 367 questions after each drill. We actually just started doing a drill debrief for Class 48, and then an entire one immediately after, specifically just for Vance. Am I wrong? All jokes aside, Vance has common sense. He has what I refer to as the get it factor. He understands things, but if he doesn't, he's able to mold and just go with it. He is great at changing his tactic or direction, also known as an Omaha. Vance spent time as Engine 2 officer, where he was part of the first engine company to fight a real-life, fully involved vehicle fire. And I'll never forget, after days and days of drilling with the natural gas prop in the garage prop, Captain Minlef says, "You ready?" And I said, "Yep, let's do it." And we dispatched them to a real-life car fire, and they missed it. I guess the big black header wasn't big enough for them because they were so used to going to the natural gas prop. So when they saw the smoke, it was unbelievable to see all the crew's face. Vance was thrown many different scenarios and was able to dive in head first. He's a critical thinker and is determined to better himself and succeed. I can proudly say I'm very excited for Vance to graduate today. It's a pleasure to have him at South Davis. He has proven to be both reliable and trustworthy, which are some of the most important traits that a firefighter can attain. We are lucky to have him in our department. Welcome to South Davis. Congratulations, Kendall. Vance, is there anything you think I could have done better or said better? Robinson. All right, Robinson. I had to dig for some information because you just don't talk very much, so. All right, Robinson is from Corona, California. He tested for several fire agencies in California, along with several fire agencies out of state. He and his wife, Casey, who is here today, took a giant leap of faith 5 months ago when they decided to start a whole new life and move to the state of Utah to pursue his career with the Salt Lake City Fire Department. Some might think that making entry into a zero visibility working structure fire is scary, but personally, I think moving to a whole new state and creating a whole new life is scarier. This never affected Robinson. I commend him for that. Although Robinson is brave, he is also very quiet. I didn't even know he was in the class or existed until week 4, when Robinson profoundly stood out when we started throwing ground ladders. In my opinion, along with probably everyone here in the Cadre will agree with me, ground ladders are one of the most struggled with skills, both for recruits and for career firefighters. Robinson is a natural with ladders, maybe even the best in recruit class 48. He became a mentor and a leader who helped other recruits that struggled. With that being said, as good as he is with ladders, Monday morning tests were not his greatest skill. But we're not going to talk about the day, okay? Commitment and determination are 2 words to describe Robinson. Respectful would be the third. He dug in deep and drove hard to complete this 15-week challenge. He had highs and lows in this camp, and the lows never got the best of him. Through weekly reviews, it was blatantly obvious how passionate he was for the fire service and how important it was for him to succeed for him and his family. I commend him for graduating today. One of the most unique things about Robinson that we just found out like 2 weeks ago is that he can throw a tennis ball from the parking lot to the 7th story roof on the tower. And trust me, there was many of us that tried. Robinson, I know you'll do great in your career. Remember how you feel right now as you get recognition for this accomplishment. You deserve it. Remember to never give up. Stay receptive and continue putting in the extra time, no matter what it is. Salt Lake City Fire Department is lucky to have you. Congratulations, Derek. Vance, how was that? Would you add anything different? Did I miss anything? Okay. Kelly. Kelly was an asset to me in this recruit camp. She helped me grow as a fire captain and learn a different side of my job. Being a fire captain, it's not just about tactics and big decision making and all that kind of fun stuff, but it's also part of maybe some not so exciting things, such as paperwork. As Captain Mendeleff said earlier, when he was in Camp 46, there was a lot of paperwork. It just prepared him for 48. So I'm assuming that Camp 48 was a preparation for maybe another recruit class that I'll come down with in the future. Kelly is from Dallas, Texas, where prior to the fire service, she was a bartender. She has no previous fire experience, and she does not take no for an answer. She is competitive. She wants to be better, faster, and stronger. And when you tell her that she can't, she will disagree with you with some colorful language. She's told me on multiple occasions how she wants to blaze her own path and not have anything handed to her. She wants to earn both her position and reputation without any negative influence or handouts. During week 2, we were doing some PPE and SCBA drills. She told me in between drills that she wanted to be the fastest in the class at donning her SCBA and PPE. She was at 72 seconds for both those skills. The state standard is 120 seconds, 2 minutes. So she was just barely over 1 minute. She had 2 trailing her, and she had 1 ahead of her. Holst. Instructor Martin asked her, "Do you want to be the fastest, or are you going to be the fastest?" Kelly replied with, "I will be the fastest, sir." Kelly was on track to be the fastest until she injured her hand. Kelly injured her hand doing ground ladders while she was raising a fly, and I actually feel really bad because I saw the hand and it didn't look good. But it's here today. The truth is being withheld from the drill ground was way worse for Kelly than any injury that she succumbed. And Captain Mendeleff said that earlier as well. Kelly powered through with ibuprofen, some rest, and bandage wrap, which I'm pretty sure she might be sponsored by Ace Bandage Wrap now, so. But when she healed, she got back on to be the fastest. I'd ask her probably 9 times a day, which I know she was annoyed with me, but I genuinely cared, and it was my due diligence to make sure you were able to continue. I would ask, "Are you okay?" And she would always say, "Good to go, Cap," and then she'd look the other way and just keep walking away. Probably 9 times a day. Every day. A couple weeks went by and she was back on track to becoming the fastest until she decided to injure her foot during a downed firefighter rescue drill known as the Denver drill. This knocked her out for a couple weeks. Her drill time was limited due to her injury and to her doctor's note. But she wouldn't give up. When her class would do an up and over, she felt so bad that she would do something different. So for those of you who don't know this, she would plank the entire time it took Obstendorf to walk this corner all the way up and over and back around. She never gave up. She never gave in to any of our sympathy from the cadre. She was determined to graduate and be the fastest in time. However, ultimately, we still don't know if Kelly has the fastest time. But I'm going to hold her to that. She's going to be a great asset to South Davis. Hey, Vance, did I miss anything yet? Okay. Kelly received the first exceptional in class for her attitude. All jokes aside, Kelly, you deserve this. you're one of the hardest working, toughest individuals, and you are passionate about this career. I think the entire training cadre will agree when I say this, but you probably have the most heart in Class 48. Keep that fire burning inside and always strive to be the best. Determination and perseverance are words to describe you. It was a pleasure being part of your training and watching you develop into a firefighter and also driving you to all your doctor's appointments. I have 100% confidence in your skills and abilities and know you are an asset to South Davis. Never forget this day. Congratulations, Rhiannon. All right, last one. Sermon. All right, Sermon. Sermon is from Utah County. He is married to his wife, Megan, who is here today, and they have a 2-year-old son named Henry. Sermon graduated from Utah State University in business, that I'm pretty sure it's a major in seriousness, with an emphasis in not belly laughing. He does not know how to belly laugh. Just more rather a closed, casual mouth smile, probably like it is right now. It's a challenge. But Instructor Martin and myself finally got him to belly laugh week 10 weeks into camp. I'm going to brag about Sermon for him for a minute. I debated on doing this, and I'm going with my gut. Sermon is a very unique individual, and it's been an absolute honor being by his side and being part of his firefighter training and development. These are 4 words to describe Sermon: respect, discipline, professionalism, and honor. Sermon is a veteran of the United States military and Special Forces. He was active duty in the United States Army Rangers, 3rd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment, Airborne Division. He was deployed twice in Afghanistan. He is very disciplined and he respects uniforms and what they stand for. It was a very cool experience to see this, but in week 1, Sermon approached Captain Minlove and said, "Can I teach the class on how to properly stand at attention and at ease?" The following 14 weeks, Recruit Class 48 did that every single morning. Vance, am I doing okay? Okay. Sermon stated to myself and Instructor Martin that one of the reasons why he likes this camp so much is that when someone screws up, everyone is punished. This camp teaches teamwork. And you know what? Teamwork is the only way we function in the fire service. Sermon has life experience. He's accomplished so much in his life. He has a broad perspective and an expanded mindset on reality. He is reliable and trustworthy and proved himself on the drill ground, and yet, he hasn't even touched his potential yet. He is a critical thinker under stress and a natural leader, and he does it all with a calm disposition. He proved this time in and time on the drill ground, and also as class officer for 2 weeks. Sermon, congratulations on graduating today, and thank you for your service. You deserve this. I know you'll do well and go far in this career. It's truly an honor having you at South Davis, and I'm very proud to announce that Sermon has been assigned to my crew. I couldn't be more excited to work next to him. Congratulations, Jameson. Vance, was that okay?
Okay. Now that we know everybody a little bit better, it's your turn to give us the roast. Our class speaker for Class 48 is Rhiannon Kelly. Rhiannon?
Hello, everyone. I'm Rhiannon Kelly. Thanks for being here today to support us. It's an honor to be speaking on behalf of Class 48 today to share some of our experiences and our memories that we had throughout camp with you. It's been said a million times, but to all the families, spouses, and children of the recruits, We really appreciate you being our support system and lifting us up when we had our moments of self-doubt. None of this could have been possible without you. And to the training cadre, Captain Menlove, Captain Bowman, Captain Hardman, Instructor Martin, Instructor Berg, Captain Sharp, Captain Cadence, Instructor Peterson, Captain Crandall, Chief Carter, Chief Shoup, Facilitator Bell, the CWCs, and everybody in logistics. None of this would have been possible without your willingness to share your knowledge and experience with us all. Thank you for pushing us beyond what we thought was even possible and holding us accountable to the standard that we promised to live up to. We will forever be grateful to you. Class 48 has grown immensely since the first day. On the first day of camp, like Captain Hardman said, we learned to don and doff our PPE. We did countless drills of this, I think, all day, for like 6 hours. I remember the nerves were running high, and it felt like you could cut the tension in the room with a knife. And with each mistake, we were rewarded with some sort of physical punishment. This kind of repetition was something that we would become very familiar with. The most popular of which was the up and over. Every single one of us were terrified of being that recruit that day that messed up their PPE and earned everybody an additional up and over. As weeks went on, this feeling of timidness began to vanish slowly as we became closer as a family. We just started to adopt the mindset of, it may be wrong, but we are going to formulate a plan and go with it. After all, what's one more up and over when you already owe 10? Class 48 has experienced many unique challenges that traditionally not every class has. At the beginning of week 4, we found out that some of our classmates tested positive for COVID. What I personally found so unique about this entire situation was that every recruit's one and only concern was that we were not going to be able to finish out recruit camp with them. We harassed the cadre, very annoyingly, all day that day. We anxiously, and maybe even out of line for the time, expressed our own opinions on how we could work through the situation together so that we could all be here today. Obviously, everything's worked out in our favor. That is, if we really do graduate today, recruits. I believe that this speaks volumes about the camaraderie that we built as a class in such a short time. Due to these exposures, we had an entire virtual learning week where we did nothing but PowerPoints from home. Because of this lost time on the drill ground, the cadre graciously blessed us with an entire hell month with what traditionally would have been a hell week. This was a very eventful month, and also the month where we earned the name Class 48. Instructor Martin. I believe that we as recruits grew the most during this time, though. We learned many hard lessons, like if the cadre asks you if you would like to make a deal with us, what they're really saying is, here's the deal, and take it or lose anyways. We learned the importance of keeping our flag and guidon with us at all times, and to take pride in this. We also learned the repercussions that would follow if we did not. This was unfortunately a lesson that we had to learn more than once. Captain Menlove told us very early on in this month that we are yelling at you and calling you out for your mistakes now. But stick with the repetition, and when it clicks, the compliments will follow. And I can pick this moment out from my memory very particularly. After many live burns, countless mistakes, countless up and overs later, there was a day where every evolution that we did just worked. We all had that clicking moment and developed a synergy while working together. Captain Bowman. Captain Menlove then told us that this was the moment that he was referring to several weeks ago. This felt like a defining moment for all of us. We had finally made it to at least mediocre on the graph that Instructor Martin had drawn out for us pertaining to our skill set on the drill ground. He had a very special way of keeping us all humble. However, as we were nearing the last few weeks of camp, we as recruits got to know the cadre on a more personal level. It felt that on some level, we were starting to earn their respect. If you graduate became when you graduate, and we got to see more of their individual personalities come to light. During this time, we found out quite a lot about them. Like, did you know Captain Hardman has never, in his entire career, responded to a real structure fire? This would make sense as to why his radio communications sound like rocks in a blender. We very quickly realized that almost half of Captain Menlove's entire personality stands from the show South Park and The Simpsons. We were able to see that Captain Bowman would become a mute had he ever lost his hands in an accident, as he is not able to form a sentence without them. We discovered that Instructor Berg has a couple of hidden talents, like his impeccable acting skills that we all saw on the 24-hour shift, and his ability to become a great politician one day. And as all the recruits know, Instructor Martin's favorite thing is when we bring our feelings to work. He loves to hear us complain, as this is a healthy way of expressing one's emotions. We have impressions of every single member of the cadre. We started to collect them around week 2, I think, but we eventually were able to share them with the cadre and laugh at them all together, as opposed to keeping them as an inside joke. If anyone would like to see them later, they're very hilarious. I think Recruit Juan has the best one. Turns out they have impressions of us too. The hardest part about camp was not running until we puked, Instructor Berg, the exhaustion we felt, the injuries we endured, or even the 30-plus hours we spent on the weekend studying fill in the blanks. It was our last day all together as Class 48, Sandy, Salt Lake, and South Davis. To Class 48, I have learned so much from each of you. We have learned to adapt and overcome many situations as our time went on. Everything that happens to us throughout our careers is a reflection of what we believe about ourselves. Remember always that we cannot outperform our mindset. We are as best prepared as we possibly could be from a training facility standpoint. But we still have so much to learn and so much to endure. We have so many paths that we can choose in this career. Regardless of what you choose, I believe wholeheartedly that everyone here today is capable of becoming a great firefighter. I can easily say that I would be honored to work with every single one of you. It is a bittersweet moment, recruits, but we did it, and I'm so proud to be a part of Class 48. Thank you.
Okay. You guys have been asking about this for quite some time now. The Outstanding Recruit for Class 48. The Outstanding Recruit Award goes to an individual that shows outstanding leadership, growth, and overall performance, both academically and on the drill ground. The Outstanding Recruit is somebody that is self-motivated, an individual that is a mentor to the other recruits, and remains calm and collected under pressure. The Outstanding Recruit for Class 48 not only met all these qualifications, but exceeded them. The individual had a natural ability to lead, showed up ready and excited to work every single day, showed organizational skills and attention to detail. This firefighter came into camp with 0 fire experience, but quickly excelled in every aspect of the class. Told us one day the motto he heard, "I don't quit when I'm tired, but when the job's done." Firefighter Alex Shields.
Well, that was entirely unexpected. I never would have thought that I would be standing up here and receiving this award. I just want to thank all the recruits. I had a ton of support from every single one of them. I'm the youngest in the class, but a lot of these guys took me under their wing, and some had a lot more experience than I did. And they really kind of showed me the way and kind of just made a path for me. And it's a pleasure to be here. I was super excited, super nervous, but I just tried to make each and every day just an opportunity where I could come out and work alongside these guys. I'd like to thank my family and everybody else's families for supporting them through all this. The weekends were tough. Just trying to focus and stay motivated through each and every one of these 15 weeks. It's been a struggle, but we all survived and we persevered and we made it. So proud of every single one of you guys. And yeah, we don't stop when we're tired. We stop when we're done, right?
Okay, it's time for swearing in. Excited? Okay, Sandy first.
All right, I'm going to swear you in from back here. Okay, raise your hand and make a promise with me. I state your name.
I, Jesse Cousin,
Promise that I will humbly serve all customers
promise that I will humbly serve all customers
with an urgent response to their crisis,
with an urgent response to their crisis,
with compassion, with sincerity and concern,
compassion, sincerity, and concern,
patient kindness and respect.
patience, kindness, and respect.
I promise that I will always
I promise that I will always
conduct myself in a manner that reflects positively on South Davis Metro Fire.
conduct myself in a manner that reflects positively on South Davis Metro Fire
And the cities we serve.
and the cities we serve.
I solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend
I solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of Utah,
the Constitution of Utah,
and the regulations, policies, and mission
and the regulations, policies, and missions
of South Davis Metro Fire.
of South Davis Metro Fire.
I pledge to support my fellow firefighters
I pledge to support my fellow firefighters
and faithfully execute my duties as a firefighter with fidelity.
and faithfully execute my duties as a firefighter with fidelity.
Thank you.
Significant others, please come up, badge pinners. Okay, Salt Lake City. All Salt Lake City, please come up, form one row. Space out, please. Everyone can see you. Yeah, space out a little. Want to do 2 rows, Jim?
Okay, class 48, ready to come Salt Lake City firefighters?
Yes, sir.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jesse Cousin,
Do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
faithfully and honestly
to faithfully and honestly
perform all of my duties
perform all of my duties
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability,
Uphold and follow
to uphold and follow
the high standards and values
the high standards and values
of the Salt Lake City Fire Department.
of the Salt Lake City Fire Department,
Protect the lives and property
and to protect the lives and property
of the public and sworn to serve.
of the public I have sworn to serve.
Valdez.
Okay, if you have a firefighter in the front row, please come forward and put your badge on.
Okay, next 6. Badge pinners, please come up. all the recruits, every single one of you, all 21 of you up here with your badges, space out if you can. Let's give them all just one big round of applause. Okay, go ahead and take a seat. Okay, we have a short video presentation. We'll give all the family an idea of what they went through the last 4 months.
We're not in the dark anymore. They built these walls, we'll make them fall. Temperature rising, this is our time. Marching united into the light. We're rising up, rising up. This is our time, we come together. Time we come together. Rising up, we're rising up. This is our freedom, freedom. Rise up. We're ready, we are wide awake. We're taking back our better days. Temperature rising, this is our time. Marching united, we'll win the fight. We're rising up, rising up. This is our time, we come together. Time we come together. Rising up, we're rising up. This is our freedom. This is who we are. This is who we are.
Just breathing, staying alive. All that I feel is a fire inside. I have outrun it. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Some things are different, but nothing is straight. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game. This is my time, faster than ever, hungry and I'm going to come back and take what is mine, bigger and better. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Some things are different when nothing is changed. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game. somebody who stays in one place, ready to go. I'm coming to play. You better know I still got something to say. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Some things are different, but nothing has changed. Still got my number, still got my name. Tell everybody I'm back in the game.
coming down the street. Here comes the fire truck. Beep, beep, beep. Here comes the fire truck. There it goes. Here comes the fire truck. Way down low.
That last bit of singing they had to do was to earn their flag back. So, that concludes this graduation ceremony. Congratulations, Class 48. See you out there on the big one. Thanks to everyone for coming. Please get home safe, travel home safe. Spend time here at the facility if you would like. Take pictures, show your family members around. I think we're gonna light the car if they want to see that. So we can light the car and take your family members around. Take your time, please.